G'day and welcome back for more Survival Impossible. With the Remora's main stage mostly complete, I think I might still need to add a few cameras to it. I thought I might do a few little bits and pieces around the base before I start working on its boosters. Things like getting the Splitsie powered, which is pretty much going to mean getting the food truck over here and hooking it up, as well as potentially putting some turrets on top of the garage. Now, I'd been kind of lazy about that side of things because for a while now, the assertive cargo ships mod has not been spawning any drones in this world. And it's something specific to this world, although it also happens in Survival Unlikely. But it means that I haven't really had to worry about things. However, I have been pointed to something that might well have fixed that. Which means when a drone next comes over, I'm going to have to pay it some attention because it may well, it might well kill me. So, what I'm going to do first is turn off my programmable block, find my solar rotor vertical one. Which one is that? That'll be that one. And I'm going to spin this until it's aligned front to back, pretty much. That looks about right. Then we'll drop it. That should make driving a little bit easier. So at least I'm balanced front to back, even though I'm quite top heavy. I think I need to go front and I kind of need to reverse into that space, don't I? Because the rotor is on the front, yes. Oh, I so hope that I've got the drones working again because it really was something that added that extra element of, fear. I might need to fix that rotor and change it so that it spins the other way. Right. Rotor. Let's spin you around to sideways. That way. That's better. And there we go. Get out of the clang zone. Again. There we go. And attach. We have power on the Splitsie, which means drop this down a little bit. Really need to get those buttons on the side of the truck so that I don't have to do this. And now, to do something a little bit sneaky and potentially problematic. I can't remember if I made any changes to this, so I'm going to copy it all. And I'm going to change this to Whip's subgrid wheel control script. So I don't have to build a new programmable block, and so I can do this. Nope, it's not working. Handbrake on, off. Landing gear. Switch lock. Switch the lock. Oh, help if I turned the subgrid wheel control script on, wouldn't it? It kind of wants to crab walk with all these wheels turning like that, but at least I've got all my wheels working for me. This is so awkward. I just thought I'd move this back over to the top of this little hill so that it has the maximum sun time, since I would really like the Splitsie to get some decent charge going. I guess what I'm going to have to remember to do is anytime I use the Splitsie, it's going to need to get put back on charge when I'm done. I can't afford to keep treating it the way I was, which was, I'll get back and charge it later, it's fine. I'll just... it'll survive on its own for a bit. That was a mistake to treat it that way. Okay, let's handbrake on. Ooh, interesting. That seems to be... It seems the subgrid wheel control script is now, or maybe it always has, using the remote control on the second subgrid to put the handbrake on. Oh, that's amazing. Awesome. Solar alignment is running again. And I may as well lock us down for safety. Cool. I think that's Steve I saw over there. Maybe? Is that Steve? What's Steve doing all the way down there? No? That is an offline. Who even is that? Is that Capac? It's not dying. Probably not Capac. Next job. Turrets. what do I need to set up the top here? I guess I don't need to do all the piping for the turrets. I can just place them down. But I don't know that I've even got the... Yeah, I didn't think I had the roof block done. So I need the components for that. Components for that. Looks like all 4 of them. Is that? Yeah, that's where it needs to go. And then another one. I'll just put a... So 4 conveyor junctions and then the 4 turrets. And that should do the trick nicely. Alright, after so many trips up and down that staircase that I think I'm starting to get a bit dizzy, we have 4 new turrets. And only 1 more trip up and down the spiral staircase and I'll have ammunition in them. Yay! This is good. This is very, very good. Ooh, don't have a huge amount of ammunition made. Might want to rectify that a little bit. Huh. Didn't realize that one was already piped. Why did I not realize that? I remember... Same with that one. Alright, at least 2 of them are piped. That's even better than I thought. That's good. I'm pleased. Excellent. Now I have 8 turrets to shoot down my enemies. I should probably set them all to the correct settings. Oh, that is really annoying. These interior blocks keep popping in and out. But the Splitsie's batteries are almost completely charged. Awesome. Might be able to even do a hunting trip before I take the Remora up. Oh, kind of thinking I'll lean more towards taking the Remora up. Don't feel like there was much else I needed to do to the command module, but at the end of last week I said I was going to put this on top of the main stage today. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to leave it here for now so that I can more easily access it and fill its tanks with ice. And then once it's full, I'll put it on top of the main stage. The main stage needs to gain a couple of extra cameras to keep an eye on some things, which I had forgotten to put on there last time. And I'm going to try and make it a bit easier for me to get up there by working out a system to put a ladder in here. And I think the way to do that is going to be putting it on a couple of pistons and a rotor. So if I put 3 ladder pieces on the end of a rotor, which I should be able to demonstrate momentarily once my charge is back. There we go. So starting with piston on... Now, I'm going to have to be careful how I approach this because I'm going to need to have clearance around this piston. A lot of people were saying I should just use the Splitsie for this. And yeah, perhaps I should, but I kind of like the idea of having an inbuilt mechanism for getting up and down. I think I'm going to need a second piston to get this out past the wheels. And then a rotor on the end. And then the interesting part. Will I be able to place the ladders as I hope? Is something going to get in the way and block me? What? Why can't I? Oh, that's annoying. I haven't really played around with small grid ladders much, so I wasn't sure whether there are any funny placement rules. Okay, that's good. Then I should just be able to do the same at the other end. And grind them out, because they should stick to each other. Yeah. I just have to put these down so that I can actually place it where I wanted. And once I start greebling this truck, I should be able to make some interesting designs around where the ladder sits, so that it's not just kind of floating there in thin air, and make it a little bit better suited. Oh, right. Well, that's going to be interesting. I think I'm going to need a few timer blocks to set up the deployment of this ladder, because if I look up from where these wheels are, if I end the ladder here, I'm going to end up just dropping off and falling to the ground and probably hurt myself. So what I'm going to need to do is have the pistons deploy out, the rotor spin to vertical, and then given where I put it, I should be able to bring it back in past the wheels and line it up nice and neatly against the main stage so that I can climb up on top. We will test that all manually, and if it works, then I will invest in the programmable, in the timer blocks. Alright, moment of truth time. Will I regret building this in that row when I could have moved it one block across and had it line up perfectly between the wheels? Bend it out. Yeah, it definitely needed the double piston. Okay, lower limit can be 0, upper limit can be 90. Oh. Okay. Subtract 1 ladder. 3 was more than I needed. Back. Bring back some more. Let's see if this works. I really hope I don't hurt myself. Please don't hurt myself. Please? Ah, turn my jetpack on. Well, I didn't fall. I didn't die. So I'd count that as a win. Plus, I can get down safely. This is good. So I will work out some sort of timer mechanism to have that as a one-push deployment of the ladder. So it pushes it out, spins it up into position, brings it back into the range that it can be. I think I'll be safe from that thrush. It looks like it'll pass by over there. Right, I wanted to think about what extra cameras I may need on the main stage. The Remora itself has a camera to connect to this merge block, so I don't need one on the main stage. I've got a camera pointing forward so that I can drill. I probably want to get a camera out here on one of these 3 red blocks so that I can monitor the booster stage. And then... are there any others that I really need? Probably want one next to the connector on the bottom as well. Did I bring any plate up here? I did. So by putting a camera just there, I'll be able to use the camera panning mod by Digi to allow me to rotate my angle downward. Ooh, that was lucky. I thought that might have hurt me. Rotate my angle downward so I can see the booster stage as it drops off. I have to be mindful to turn off that jetpack so I don't end up accidentally sliding myself backwards off, because the jetpack cannot support my mass in this gravity. Oh no, that looks like it's oriented the wrong way. Rats. One camera done. This should not have been such a struggle. Ah. So with the cameras on there, I now need the booster segments that are going to be seen drop off through those cameras. So it'll just be a merge block, a battery, a couple of large atmospheric thrusters, and a beacon, and a couple of parachutes. Because it doesn't need to be more than that. So I shall just build it off the floor here, once I have some parts to do so. Starting with a merge block, upon which will sit a large small grid battery, just to give myself the best chance possible that these things will still be broadcasting when I come back to collect them. It's going to need a couple of parachutes because this thing's going to have 2 large atmospheric thrusters on it. I think if I pop a parachute here, I should be able to pop the atmospheric thruster on the near side of it and use the parachute hatch as my attachment point, also allowing me access to the hatch's cargo system, which is what I need, so that I can put the parachute canvas inside. Then we go with some large thrusters. Now, always got to remember with these large thrusters is that the intake has that high side. I think I want the high side pointing inward. And do the same on this side. And then a small cargo container underneath here. The reason I think that's needed is I don't think the small grid parachutes have much in the way of cargo space at all. So I need somewhere to put some extra spare canvases in case I do a deployment on the pad by accident, something like that. Then I need to add a beacon, which I hopefully have somewhere here. There we go. A beacon on there. And a timer block. Now, I think the timer block is going to be quite important here, because I would like to be able to engage the timer block. Maybe I'll put 2. Maybe if I do put 2, what I could have... No, I should only need 1. I should only need... I'm debating whether I have a timer block trigger 2 actions at separate times. So to do those separate times, I need 2 separate timer blocks. My thinking was, I have a timer block that turns off the merge block that's on this booster stage, and then it triggers another timer block which will, after a delay, turn off the thrusters and turn the parachutes to auto-deploy. But I should just put 1 and cut the complexity of this down, and the weight. The less this thing weighs, the more it's going to help me get up to space. Because, well, actually that probably... yeah, because it's adding more thrust to weight ratio, which is what I want. Because as the atmosphere gets thinner, the atmospheric thrusters don't push so much, so I want more push with less weight added. Yeah. I think that's what I want. Okay, so... put the timer block here, and then just have to think about how I'm going to greeble this thing. Because that should be everything I need on this. I had contemplated making these as miniature drones so they could sort of pilot their way back to the base, but the extra weight of all the thrusters, the gyroscope, the remote control, all that stuff just seemed like it was overkill. It doesn't need to be that complicated. The other thing I had contemplated was not doing these at all and having antenna relays attached to those merge blocks, so I could dump the antenna relay somewhere close to the planet and then travel further using it as a relay. Which I still could do. I could kind of double sandwich something like that on a merge block, but I think I'll manage without it. I've got some ideas on how I can deal with that with the current equipment. So it shouldn't be necessary, which is great. So a beacon to find it, parachutes to land it, thrusters, timer block. That should be everything. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna weld all that up, and then try and greeble it, and then build a second one identical to it. It's weird. Feels like I've done something wrong, because there's... feels like there should be more to this. But I guess not. I really hope this looks half decent once it's on the thing. Once it's actually attached to the Remora. Because I really don't know what this is going to look like. It's probably less than optimal that I've had to design it separate to the Remora. But it is what it is. Now, let's name these so that I can set up that timer block before I move it across. We will have Remora, Booster, 1. Oh, that's convenient. As long as I name the beacon the correct name for the rest of this thing, I'll know which sides are which. Handy. And while I'm here, let's put some canvas. Do I have any canvas? I don't think I do. Let's put some canvas in those parachutes. Oh. Ah, the main stage is pulling all of the canvas. That's good. And yeah, that's what I thought. Small ones can only carry a single canvas at realistic inventory size, so I did need those cargo containers so that I could put more than just one. A lot more than one. What I might do, since I'm in here anyway, rather than craning them both in the pitch dark of night, is I'm going to build the next one just extended off here. So I'll have both ready to go come morning. And then I should be able to attach it. So my thinking is if I build both of these now, I can then use the rest of the night to collect some ice, which is going to be a long process because I only have access to snow right now. And then when it comes to daylight again, I'll use the crane to move these out and put them onto the remora. Ooh, didn't name the merge block. Named everything else. Must make sure I name as much as I possibly can, because it's just... this thing is going to get very complex, and having correct names makes it so much simpler. Also, it probably is easier to build this while the other one's there, because then I will actually match them properly. If I took the other one out before I've built this one, I'd have to keep running outside. So it turns out this was probably a smart way of doing things, for multiple reasons. Ooh. Do I want a camera on the boosters so that I can check that their parachutes have deployed, or do I want to just rely on the cameras on the main stage to watch the boosters fall and hopefully watch long enough to... or even just to have a camera showing that they did deploy and it all went well. I'm not sure. Nah, that's added complexity. I know I missed a complexity, but that seems unnecessary, even for me. I don't think the camera angle will be that interesting that I'll want to capture it over, say, something else, since I do have limited numbers of cameras I can capture from. Even using Capac to get more angles, I still wouldn't be able to do much. I'm pretty much limited to my perspective and 2 others. Alright, 2 booster segments ready to go. Now I should be able to set up the timer blocks while I'm here, since I've got everything named correctly. So timer block, remora, booster, timer block. I want a decent delay, so let's put... yeah, I think we can probably leave it at... let's make it 5 seconds. Set up actions. So when the... I've got stage 1, so booster 1. When this activates, what I want it to do is turn these off. So toggle block off and toggle block off. And I want it to... oh, rats. Auto deploy on off. That's annoying. It's so annoying that these buttons aren't working at the moment. You have to use auto deploy instead. So auto deploy and auto deploy. And that should be it, because the beacons are already going to be active. Yeah. That's pretty simple. Just activate both of those timers, and I'm minimizing my energy expenditure and maximizing the time I have to go and collect these things. The other thing I'm going to do for these parachutes is I'm going to make them deploy really, really high. So their auto deploy height is going to be, let's say, 4,000. I've got a very good reason for that. What I would love to see after I detach these is those parachutes deploy. Oh, 4,000 is probably too high. 3,000? Yeah, we'll go 3,000. So if they're ready to deploy, so if they deploy quite high, I'll be able to use the cameras that watch these and just watch them long enough to wait for that moment when I see those chutes pop and then I know that everything has worked. So that'll be a nice reassuring thing to, I don't know, to witness on the launch, rather than worrying that the whole thing's gone terribly, terribly wrong. I feel like I should add something here. So, with the launch of the Remora getting very close, I've got to go off and get all the ice mined and all that sort of stuff, so that's still going to take a fair bit of time, but it is pretty close. What I would like from you guys is any list of things that I need to remember to do prior to launch. So what I want to do is in the Remora's cockpit, if I run around here, although I'm just going to grab some parachute. I'm going to grab some oxygen first so that I don't run out while I'm sitting in there. In the Remora's cockpit, I'm going to put a pre-launch checklist on one of the LCDs, or even multiple LCDs if I need to. So I'm not really worried about having... Oh wait, I'm going to be remote controlling this. These LCDs won't necessarily be that useful. I'm going to need to put this list on these LCDs and put them on another LCD somewhere near wherever I'm going to sit so that I check. Basically, I want a checklist. I want a checklist of everything I need to do before launch. So say top left screen, instead of being script, let's go text and images. Edit text. What I need to do pre-launch. I need to check fuel in crew module and main stage. That sort of stuff. So if I'm launching from this, if I'm actually traveling with the rocket, I'll just check off on the LCD and I'll be like, yep, check fuel. All right, let's do it. Let's check the fuel. I want to just make sure that nothing goes wrong, that I haven't totally boned anything up. I'm going to need to make sure that I've got controls for the merge blocks, that any timer blocks are set, that I've got everything all worked out. So if you've got anything that I should add to any checklists around that, let me know. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to collate them all before next week's episode so that I can hopefully just put it up on the LCD and be good to go. Assuming right now I can collect enough ice for all of the hydrogen. And since I'm going to go and collect some ice, I'm going to disconnect you from the base so that I can bring the Goofy in. Oh, that's nice. I can drive with the ladder deployed. That is actually quite handy. I also started to think, I'm going to build a second one of these attachment points here. Oh no. No, don't be stuck. So what I was thinking of doing is getting rid of the ladder on this side, moving it round to here, putting a pipe 4 or 5 blocks this way, and then building another one of these little towers with another hookup, so I'd have 2 hookups. Because I think having the 2 hookups here makes a lot of sense. It's a fairly flat area, it's in front of the production facility, it's next to the construction garage, and once I do the little bit of voxel modeling, it'll be a nice little parking area to neaten up, which would be pretty cool. Mining. Goofy. Should get food and water before I go. So I reckon I'm going to be down there a little while. Oh, hold up. Assert requesting assistance. That's not good. That's very not good. Lock on. Am I going to get a drone or am I going to be okay? Is it still broken? Looks like the drones might not be coming. Can't see any up there. So I might still have to do other things to try and get this to work and do some testing to make sure that it has worked, because it seems like I still lack the drones from the cargo ships, which is sad. I liked having them. I liked the little bit of threat. I mean, I wouldn't like seeing the Remora get shot up, but I did like the bit of threat. And having to run away. Hopefully next week I'll have that working again. And if not, I have made some good progress on the massive assertive mod update that is coming soon that will use Rival AI to mean that I don't need to care about whether the antenna spawning system works or not. Because Rival AI will handle it all. Which is going to be very exciting. Alright, let's go and mine some ice. I am going to be having to do so much... Wait, hang on. I still... Yep. thought so. Still got nickel and stuff on board. Oh, now for the fun that is scrape mining all of the snow. Oh yeah. Ugh. This is not exciting. But at least it works. And at least I can do it with the trailer attached, because if I couldn't, that would suck. Alright, turning you off. Apparently you found some wreckage that I don't want you shooting. I'm gonna have to mine out such an enormous area. Oh boy. I wish I'd found a nice lake with Splitsie. What the heck did I just break? Did I ever put something underneath these? I feel like I should have. I feel like I should have had a line running from these wheels right along through the middle here. Maybe I did? It looks like all the important stuff is still here. Oh, I must have just knocked off a armor block here. That's where I did it. Okay. Do I have any steel plate? I have a couple. Okay, let's fix that. I'm actually tempted to do this in a different color so it looks like it's had a repair job. Yeah. I think I will do that with the Goofy. Anytime I repair a bit, I'll do it up in a different color or style or something. Got one load of ice now. Let's head on home with that. I think... I wish I had some idea of how many loads of ice I was going to need to fill up the tanks on the Remora. So I'm going to need quite a few, I suspect. Oh, now I remember why I hated mining down here. I have to do the shuffle! Slowly up, and then reverse, and then slowly up a little bit further. Zigzag up the steep hillsides. Actually, that was much quicker than I'd previously done it. Maybe I'm not as heavy, or maybe I've just got lucky and found the best way to do it then. I wish I could hook the Remora up while, like, easily have it hooked up while I was bringing the ice up so I knew roughly how much I needed. Well, I guess in some ways it's a moot point as to whether I've got enough for the Remora, because right now I have filled up all of my cargo space on the base. Which sort of tells me I need more cargo space more than anything else. But, if that's the case, I will disconnect. I will start getting the Remora filled. Because, well, I'm not going to have enough, like I can't even fully empty the Goofy right now. So I need to create a little bit of space. 13,000 iron. Maybe I should make another hookup. Yeah, you know what, I will. I will make a Remora truck hookup. A specific one. Need to get rid of these ladders, and they are really annoying to find the spot that they grind from. What I'll do for this hookup is just do part of this complex hookup. This complex hookup can literally, or should literally be able to connect to pretty much anything. But this one I'll just make it for either the Remora's main stage or the Goofy. I'll probably end up sticking the Goofy on it, I suspect. But I think, even though I was saying I don't have much iron left, I think the hassle of making, like doing this shuffle every single time is just more than I can bear right now. Well, I put some stairs in here and I'm not sure it's exactly what I was wanting. But it works for now. They're just a bit chunky. I think I'll probably go back to the ladder design. But cheaper to build these in the first place because I can use just a few construction components rather than having to build the whole ladder. Come on, I want to get this done so I can get some more ice mining done because the sun is coming up soon. And I would like to have gotten at least 2 loads of ice dug before sunrise. Or at least before I start moving parts onto the Remora. Oh, that reminds me, I need to move ice into the Remora's crew module. Make sure it's completely full before I get anything really underway. Alright, connected up. Let's hook the crawler thingy up. I think the connector may well be at about the right height already. Sure. I will do that awkward connection for now. Sweet. Oh, hydrogen engines. Those need to go off. Control panel, engine. Hydrogen engines. Also, the thrusters need to go off. Thought they were all off, but I must have missed some. Okay, some O2H2 generators are running right now. That means the tanks are filling how quickly? Slowly, but not horrendously so. Okay. Right, all the O2H2 generators on the base are on. I'm going to go collect some more ice. Put a teensy bit inside the Remora's crew stage, but not everything that's needed so far. It's going to need a lot more than that. It's going to get really interesting how desperate I get for ice if it turns out that there is iron up there in the asteroids that I could bring down. Because I'm going to want to make multiple launches to get something up there to dump cargo containers full of iron back down onto the planet. And that could mean multiple launches, and that's going to mean a whole lot of collection. And this is just such an inefficient way to collect hydrogen. And I don't think a static thing constructed to collect ice would work any better than this, because I'd need to be moving out to such great distances so quickly that I think it'd be totally impractical. Also, something is going very fishy with how that wheel is working. I think I need to change the way I do this thing. Let's get rid of those controls and change them to increase height offset and decrease height offset. That'll keep the things a bit more even as I drop it down. Plus, I think I get smaller adjustments, which is perfect, because then I'll be able to better adjust my pitch as I go along. Don't recall exactly when I got in the habit of using strength instead of height adjustment, but I'm trying to get back into the habit of using the height adjustment instead because of that fine control that you get. And it's a bit safer to drive with the stronger suspension on when you're doing something like this where it could get pretty heavy. At least I'll have a little bit of bounce, I just won't have as far for the bounce to go. Oh dear. That's not good. I'm gonna have to hand mine those bits out, because they are not nice. But I have created a nice edge there that I should be able to drive up into once I clear out this section. It'll make it much quicker to collect lots of ice, I think. That's what I was trying to do. Create that wall there so I can just drive into it and hopefully follow the contours of the ground, and well, I probably won't manage to do a great job of that, but that was the dream. I just looked at the bit of terrain and realised how much of a hill there was there, and it's probably going to be really hard to do what I had planned. Oh well. Oh man, that was super easy. Maybe ice is less dense than stone, so it's easier to get out. Maybe that's why I'm having a much better time getting out of there than when I brought stone back in the past. Oh well, I'm pleased because it means since I'm going to have to be doing a lot of this, it's not as hard as I'd feared. Ooh, I think those tanks might be more than 50% full. Can't be. Not think I would get that much out of it. But it looks like there are 2 lights on. That's incredible. If that's the case, this is super easy. I am stunned. Stunned. I have no other words. I want small cargo. And I want goofy and ice. Nope. Can't do both. Can only do the names. How are the tanks going? Hydrogen tank. 58.6. Yes! Oh man. Alright, let's go grab one more load of ice, because that may be all I need. Which is incredible. Goofy is an ice mining machine. Maybe this isn't going to be so horrible using the snow. 3 loads for each launch? I think I can manage that. Because it really is only 2 loads. I'm just getting the third to have some left over. So with this load of ice, I should have enough... Oh, those tanks are full. I should have enough comfortably to ensure that the crew stage is fueled up. If I put a little battery onto the absconder, I can start filling it up with the ice that I brought back. So, you're probably thinking, now that I've got the tanks on the Remora full, after I get the crew stage full, I should just need to assemble this thing and I'll be ready for launch. But there is something I would like to do. I would like to build some sort of ground-based antenna relays, something on the high points around here. So I've got a nice high point on top of that mountain there, and a nice high point on the top of that mountain there. If I built an antenna relay on both of those, set them both to 50 kilometers in range, they should reach comfortably outside the gravitational influence of the planet. I think. Or at least reach a little bit outside. More so than one down at this base should, at any rate. Because those mountains are... well, at least they look like they're fairly tall. It might get me a kilometer closer to the edge of the sphere of influence. Which could be enough. And I don't know whether it's quicker going to the... I think it's quicker going to the Goofy because it's got the ice in it. Than going to the cargo container inside the garage. So that's what I think I'm going to be doing next week. Well, that and fixing up anything that you guys realize I've missed on the Remora and making sure that I've got a nice pre-flight checklist. Alright, time to jumpstart the absconder. I've done all the other things. I want to do that today too. For that, I will need a small battery, which will get destroyed unless I find a spot to hide it, keep it. Because I could put one underneath. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Put it towards the back. That unknown signal is basically dropping right on top of me, isn't it? 600 meters away. Alright. What a good time to charge the absconder up. Ah. So, now that I've put the second battery on here, small battery, you sit on recharge. You will sit on recharge until I forget and you die and become out of charge again. But I will just leave that one on there because it's a nice little safety net to have a second battery on here. Fully recharged in 3 hours! That's insane. I'm tempted just to run here. Yeah, let's just run it. What do you have for me, unknown signal? Kid's pajama rifle. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, motors, some rations, and some space credits. And let's grab what we can of the parts. Can't turn down ones that are that close to home. Probably could have taken the absconder now that it's got the engine running. Oh well. It's not a bad view walking back to the base. Alright, my hydrogen tanks are full on the crew module. So, there was something I did think I needed to possibly add to this module. And that was an emergency rations thingy. I possibly could put it right on top here. If I get rid of that small conveyor there, I should be able to put the emergency rations dispenser in so that it's this way. And that'd give me the ability to make some food if I really got desperate. Because then I just have to find an asteroid, get the gravel, get some ice. Guess that could work. Does feel like it makes sense. Let's do it. I think if I grind this off, I shouldn't lose the other blocks. Because they should have attachment points on this side. Yeah, we're good. Cool. I will place one of these up here. So if there are any other blocks like that emergency rations dispenser that you think I need to add to the main stage or to the Remora, let me know. Because I want to make sure this launch has the highest chance of success. The other thing I really want to get right is my pre-launch checklist. I need to go around and I need to name a lot of these blocks so I can control them properly, as that is another thing that needs to happen here. But that checklist is going to be seriously valuable in terms of making sure I don't mess things up. So next time, it's going to be probably using the Splitsie to go up to the tops of these mountains, or at least as high up as I can get with the Splitsie, in order to place down a large antenna. And then, readying for launch, with a whole lot of craning of vehicles onto the Remora's main stage. So there's all that, and plenty more to come, and hopefully some enemy drones. So they and I will see you then.